What up, guys? Kevin here. I did it. I got through it. I beat God of War Ragnarok. Probably the worst game I beat this year, which previously the title was held by Last of Us Part 1. And I gotta say, this game makes me appreciate the replay I did of Last of Us Part 1, which was a remake. And, I played through it over a course of 2 days. And at the end of it, I went, yeah, that was a pretty good time. That was a pretty good time. God of War Ragnarok was a good time in the visual aspect, hanging out with certain characters, the acting. Other than that, I just couldn't wait for it to end. I just couldn't wait for it to end. So, I don't know how I'm going to structure this, but I guess let's just start with somewhere. Let's start with the good stuff. The visuals looked amazing. The visuals looked awesome. It really felt like the game was made around the cool visuals. They just came up with all these cool set pieces and they worked around it. It was like, oh my God, not the first game, but the 2018 God of War. It's like, oh, too many of this, too much of this. Here, the game goes places, Winter is coming. Oh, that's something else. But you go in thinking it's a very wintry game, and there's parts of the game that is. But I was actually quite shocked at how diverse the biomes, the scenery, the whatever is. It was sometimes a treat to my eyeballs, but then you go back to the snowy areas, you're like, yikes. Let's get out of here. But overall, good. I would say the pacing, people have issues with the pacing. Now, I appreciate the pacing in one aspect of there was always something right around the corner. This is a great, I just want to pick up and play for 20, 30 minutes and usually get a little bit of everything. A little bit of cutscenes, a little bit of actions, a little bit of puzzles, a little bit of at least the way I played. I appreciate that. Reminded me of the first 3 Uncharted games where a chapter took about 20 minutes. I don't think there's any chapters or anything in the game, but I can appreciate the pacing in that aspect. This is the good stuff. The acting, amazing. Amazing. Atreus, Loki, did a good job. He did a really good job. Kratos did a good job being this version of Kratos, which I'll probably get to the negative side. Let's keep it good. Freya, amazing. Mimir, one of the most annoying sidekick characters. I just wanted to punt his head across the 9 realms. That being said, very well voice acted. Thor, absolutely. When Thor was on screen, you watch, you listen. And yeah, he's probably my favorite version of Thor. Not like I was big on Thor anyways. Odin, I loved Odin in this game. Odin, just basic old dude, scrawny looking dude. But he commanded your attention when he was on the screen. And the voice acting, again, amazing. Pretty much across the board. I don't think I really hated anybody besides Freyr. He just has a punchable face. I'm kind of glad what happened to him at the end of the game. Bye-bye. Let's talk about Sindri. Something happens in this game. Screw it. The game's been out a few weeks. Spoiler alert. Big spoiler alert. Very big spoiler alert. I'm going to talk about spoilers here on. Brock dies and Sindri turns from the... Look, Brock and Sindri, like the first game, they were pretty much annoying mascots. I didn't really care for them. And this game introduces Ratataskar. And yeah, that should not have been a thing. Ratataskar can fuck off. He was an annoying character. But hey, at least he was there and made me appreciate these two guys. And Sindri, when Brock dies and he hates your ass, He hates everyone. He's like, I did everything for you, and you got my brother killed. Fuck you. In his total FU mode, absolutely might be one of the best performances. And then Brock himself. Since we're in spoilers, there's a part where Kratos needs to get a spear, a ring that turns into spears. That's a new weapon in the game. And Brock wants to come along. I love the part. This was one of my favorite parts of Kratos. He brings him along because he speaks plainly. And he really appreciates. That was like the first time I'm like, oh, Kratos really has affinity with somebody else besides Atreus. I mean, I guess Mimir as well, but just to see him outwardly say it and just pick a favorite, that was fun to see. But then you find out that Brock died before and he doesn't have like his full soul, whatever helps this story go along. And they go to a little mermaid blacksmith and they need a blessing and they're trying to ask him for a blessing. And Brock is like, why won't you listen to me? And, she fucks off and swims away. And then there's a great scene, the best scene, to me, the only wow moment, the moment that I went, wow, that was actually really good writing. I don't know. It was writing that impacted me. Kratos, and it probably helps that he's a doofus he's a mute. Kratos is a mute and has no empathy, sympathy, whatever for anybody. He kneels down with the spear and he's like, it needs the blessing of a great blacksmith, and basically saying to Brock, bless it. And that was a beautiful scene. The best scene of the game. Worth $20 right there. Worth $70 for the whole game. We'll get to that in a minute. Where am I? Good, bad? Am I talking about the good stuff or the bad stuff? Okay. I guess let's get to the bad stuff. The story, I don't care. I love the first game, the 2018 game. It was just Kratos and Atreus. And then the friends that you met along the way. This game is more the friends you met along the way with a little bit more. But I didn't really care about the story. Atreus trying to figure out his destiny. All about destiny. All about, Kratos just letting go of his son, trusting him. A lot about trust. A lot about being better. And they hit you over the head with it over and over and over again. I'm like, damn, am I fucking 5 here? I'm 35. Erica Lindbeck plays Hrist, who was, cool. She's one of the female voice actors every game. Troy Baker plays the bitter squirrel. I didn't know that. But no, the writing was just a little too... Towards the end here, this last play session, I was like, this feels like they're trying to make a JRPG story. It feels like a JRPG story made by Americans. Oh, cool. President and CEO Jim Ryan. Shout out to Jim Ryan. But no, it just felt like a JRPG written by Americans. Just felt like they're trying, but it ain't working. It ain't working. And they just hit you so over the head with its themes and be better and trust and all these family issues amongst everybody. I mean, you could say Freya trying to get back, get vengeance, get revenge on Kratos, and her getting over that for killing Baldur. And you got Thrud, you got Thor, you got all that. You got Atreus and Kratos. It's so much. It's so much. And they just really hit you over the head with its themes. And I think it's kind of corny. I was like, it's really corny. We said it before. Shout out to subscriber Kevin Street. Says it's a Marvel movie. It really is. I mean, has Thor in it, for God's sakes. But just even the way it ended and everything, and just the way it just slaps you over the head with its themes and stuff. Yeah. I don't want to say the writing's bad. It's just... maybe I am not the target audience, though a lot of gore and stuff. I don't know. And I'm not saying here to say, oh, it's corny. It was corny for me. I like corny stories. I'm into JRPGs. They can get really corny and cheesy at times. But something when that comes from a Japanese maker and it has a little bit more either cartoony or not so realistic models, I just buy into it more. Here, it's just, I just found it corny. I found the story just very corny. Combat, absolutely. It was fun in the beginning, but man, did I grew tired of the countless. All right, go into the next area and just here's the formula. You go into the next area. It obviously looks like it's a battle scene. There's a little bit of a there's the layout is just you're gonna fight some enemies. You see it, and they'll throw like 3 or 4 at you. You take out a couple, then a couple more will join. You take out a couple, then a couple more will join, and then eventually you beat it. And then you do it in the next section and the next section. Yeah, I really grew tired of that formula. And I was thinking, like, games have combat all the time. What is my issue here with this? It's not avoidable. I just can't say, you know what? I just want to go to the next session. I just really don't care about killing these basic enemies I don't give a fuck about. I just don't want to do it right now. And I think that's why I like JRPGs or not JRPGs. Well, I do love JRPGs, but like open world games where, oh, you know what? I want to take this play session, and just grind. Just fight the basic enemies, get stronger, get better, and then do side stuff, and then come back to the story, which a lot of times the story stuff, of course, would have combat and stuff, but it's more compartmentalized in terms of what I'm doing. Whereas a linear game like this, they just throw kind of everything at you along the way, and you kind of don't know what you're going to get. And you're kind of like, man, I don't really want to do another puzzle, but I have to get to the next section. Or I want to keep doing puzzles, but I got to do boring ass combat here for the next 5 minutes. I don't know. I don't like the pacing in that sense. But back to the combat. I mean, absolutely some of the best move sets and stuff you can do in the game. Absolutely amazing. But my God, especially towards the end when you're in tight little spaces and they're throwing so many enemies. And they do this thing where if an enemy's behind you, they'll just throw the arrow at you, basically not right before they're going to attack, just that they're behind you and you have no idea. You have no idea. And you can dive out of the way and they still haven't hit yet and they rubber band to you. All the enemies rubber band to you, no matter how far away they are. If they're winding up and they're going to hit you and you're on the other side, they will rubber band right to your ass. Young, yeah? Hey, shout out to Young, yeah. I'm watching the credits. Didn't he? Oh, Sean Chiplock too, Reen. No, didn't he move to LA to do voice acting? Hey, kids, you can be a YouTuber and then do voice acting in probably one of the biggest games of the year. But yeah, a lot of yo-yoing. They do a ton of damage. I just feel like the damage that you take is a little bit off. Sometimes the game just goes, you know what? I think you're doing okay here. Let's take off a little bit more damage with this next hit you take. A lot of just getting stuck. Like, oh crap, I'm stuck here and I'm just going to take a ton of damage. Because especially when you're Kratos, I feel like I'm fat rolling and I can't really get out of the way. They'll do like a red circle attack, meaning you can't avoid it, so you need to get out of the way. And Kratos will roll 2 inches in front of him and still get hit. I felt like that was happening a lot, especially towards the end. And the camera is absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. It really made the game just not fun. So if the combat was not fun, okay, the cutscenes, they were fun a little bit, but I don't play games to watch cutscenes. So that then leaves it to the puzzles. The puzzles were the most, what I felt, video gamey, funny way. It just felt like, oh, cool, I just have controls. Just because, all right, the game's just shutting up right now. Well, we'll get to the shutting up about puzzles. And I just got to just mess around in the area and just relax a bit. Get to take in the environment and the annoying characters telling me how to solve the puzzle right away. I'm like, dude, I just got here. I think the way it works, I think it's a hot and cold issue. When Mimir or whoever is with you gives away the puzzle. I think if you're in the area where you need to be to solve it, to shoot the arrow or what have you, and then you leave, I think that's when they trigger, oh, you need to use the arrows. I don't know. And none of the puzzles were really that good. A lot of them were mechanics I forgot about. I'm like, what do I do here? I don't know what to do. And they'll tell you, like, oh, you need to shoot this arrow and that arrow. I'm like, wait, what? I still couldn't figure it out. I'm like, oh, yeah, this mechanic I learned hours ago. It was annoying. Absolutely annoying. It just really didn't make the game just wasn't fun. Fun. Well, the games don't need to be fun, Kevin. Well, I wanted to have fun here. I played God of War 2018. I had a lot of fun. This game, I just really didn't. Towards the end, I just wanted to get through it. I went from, okay, cool. I want to play the game. I want to platinum it. Then towards the end of this game, I just wanted to get through it and just be done with it. But yeah, what else? Went over story, visuals. I think that really pretty much covers it. So now I guess, again, spoilers. Kratos is now Odin, or the Allfather. I don't know what, Freya's his wife now. I don't know. It's weird. Like, hey, you killed my son. Let's go make out. But no, I love Freya. I love hanging out with Freya. That was another driving force for me in the game. I love Freya. Freya's a great character. That's why I chose her as the picture here. And then Atreus went out to go find giants. So I'm guessing the next game, if they do another game or whatever, and they say this is the end, I could see they can do an Atreus game. And then, of course, there'll be a Kratos cameo. You can't do it. But this game is done so well. They need to do another game starring Kratos. You can't do a game starring Loki or Atreus. He was kind of disappointing. I thought he was going to go places this game. I mean, he does, but personality-wise, he's just a kid trying to do his best, and he's a good kid. I thought he was going to get a little scheming and conniving, and I don't know, maybe I watched too many Marvel Loki movies to expect a little bit more of that. I mean, he betrays Kratos' trust and lies to him, but he calls Kratos out. You're lying to me as well. Again, I thought this story was a little bit corny, a little bit cheesy, a little bit cringe. a lot of like, I can't watch this. I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm feeling embarrassed for the game. And yeah, that's why I'm giving it an embarrassing score of 7.5. 7.5 for God of War Ragnarok, which I feel like I'm being very generous today. Maybe because I'm happy I don't have to play it again. Again, the visuals and the acting was really good. I had a lot of bugs. I had one yesterday streaming. I just made a short that blew up. Where a boss got stuck and I just threw the axe on it until it died. And then I had it probably about 3 or 4 times where you need the button prompt to move forward in the game and it just didn't show up. I had to reset the game a couple times. Stuff like that. But other than that, I can be forgiving to that. Yeah, 7.5 feels right. And a 7.5 is the worst game. That is the score of the worst game I beat this year. Maybe I'm forgetting something. I think it was Last of Us Part 2 or Part 1 remake, excuse me. But I had a lot of fun. I just remember playing it and just having fun. I just got lost in it. And I don't know, that game felt like a video game. As cinematic and the pacing and just how great it looked. That game felt like a video game. This game really felt like it was, hey, get your popcorn. And when you actually get to the gaming parts, you want to go back and watch the cutscenes because, my God, of War. All right, I'm done. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. That is an honest review, absolutely honest review. If I went, screw this game like I've done it before, I would give it a 6. But no, that's my honest review, 7.5. Again, worst game I played this year, but I only play great games. Or only beat great games. So, all right, I got to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Later.